Hey everyone, Mr. Kaufman here on Virtual Art School. Today on Virtual Art School, we're going to do things a little bit different. We're going to have our Virtual Art School outside in celebration of Field Day. So we can't have Field Day this year, but we can have a virtual Field Day. So, are we going to be using pencil and paper? Well, judging by the look of the sample artwork I have up here in the corner, looks like it's going to be things that we find on the ground, things that nature has given us, such as grass, plants, sticks, stones, pine cones, whatever you can find. I'm going to show you an example of an artist who did such a thing. His name was Richard Serra. So let's get started by grabbing a bucket and getting outside, enjoying some sunshine, gathering some materials, and creating some art here on Virtual Art School. So the artist we're looking at here, his name is Richard Serra, and the sculpture is called Spiral Jetty, and he created it in 1970 on the Great Salt Lake in Utah, made from materials found directly around the area that he created the sculpture. The thing is 1,500 feet long with a 15-foot wide pathway, big enough for a truck to drive down, and I'm going to guess that's exactly how it was created. So this is called land art, and this is what we're going to do today on Virtual Art School, although we're not going to make one this big, of course. And we're going to celebrate Field Day on Virtual Art School. So first thing you have to do is you need to gather up materials for the art project. And you want to look for things that are within your yard. But I want to stress the importance of asking adults what materials you can add to your container of materials that you can gather so that you don't end up picking someone's precious flowers out of the yard. So I'm going to say that one more time. Get permission from an adult or have them come along with you to gather your materials. Now you can see that I'm gathering things directly off the ground. We have a lot of pine cones in our yard and a lot of rocks. So a lot of searching is going to happen for the first part of this project. And I can't stress more than anything to get permission from an adult, have them go with you, and find things that they're willing to let you put into that bucket so that you're not pulling things out that you shouldn't. Like these purple flowers, of course, I'm not going to pluck any of those beautiful purple flowers, but that pine cone is going directly into the bucket. And I want to also stress that when you do this, you want to make sure you pick a lot of materials that are the same. So if you're going to find dandelions, which I think dandelions, you can pick those because there's a lot of those out there. Get a lot of them. The more the better. This grass from a freshly cut lawn, perfect. Just don't pick any fur off your dog. And then as I go to the front yard of our house, searching around, looking, on the ground there's some leaves that are fallen. Yes, leaves do fall in the springtime. It's not just a fall thing. But this plant, for some reason, has a lot of yellow leaves ready to go. Okay, so now you're going to take all your materials and you're going to lay them out into nice, neat, little organized piles ready to create. So you can see how colorful and beautiful they look. Again, make sure you check with an adult on what materials you can pick up and which ones you cannot. Now it's time to get into the actual creation part. So the first thing you want to do is sweep off an area of the cement or somewhere that's nice and clean and start forming your sculpture. I'm going to form a spiral. So it looks like a 6 at first, and then you just start going around and around and around. Remember when I collected about 50 to 60 pine cones. Now you're going to see why it was important. So I'm going to create a spiral, but not in the same size as Richard Serra's giant spiral Jetty, of course. And going around, trying to keep it even between the spaces in the spiral. And you don't have to make a spiral, you can make any shape you want. So now I'm going to apply some of that fresh cut grass that I found on the ground, put that in between those spaces. And like I said, your yard looks different than mine or your neighborhood, so you don't know what you're going to find until you get out there. You might find the same materials as I did, you might find different things. So all sculptures will look different. And you don't have to stick with the spiral as well. Alright, so now, because I lost a lot of contrast, I can't see the spiral as well, I'm going to add some dandelions in there. That nice yellow against that dark green shows up pretty good. And those yellow leaves I found from that plant that was shedding leaves in the early spring. And you can see the spirals coming back again. Very careful, wasn't easy with the wind blowing. So, put a little horsetail weed going around the outside of it, and end with some of those rocks I found on the ground. And as you finish it, ask an adult to take a picture of your sculpture and send it to your classroom teacher. And maybe we'll put it on Mr. Kaufman's website. I hope you enjoyed today's field day / virtual art lesson. Please feel free to send your beautiful pictures of your artwork. Have an adult take a picture for you. Send it to your classroom teacher, and we'll see you next time on Virtual Art School with Mr. Kaufman.